They weren't uprooted. They remain in their places. Their trunks were not sawed off. They're still standing upright, stately yet forlorn. 34 years old, it would have taken too much effort to kill them, to clean chop them down. But they've been mangled, maimed. Their thick branches were half sawed through and then violently broken off. Rows upon rows of disfigured, abused, hurting olive trees. These trees tell a story. A half hour south of Jerusalem, between the settlement of Va'ot and the settlement of Bat Ayin, destruction has come upon this quiet pastoral field, now strewn all around with broken limbs. I bend down and look at the branches that have been ripped from their source of life. Their leaves are beginning to wilt and to dry out. Bending down further, I see faint traces of olive buds in the making that will never mature. In the dead of night, it was a Thursday night, it was May 1st, came people wielding ladders and probably saws and destructive intentions for certain. They invested a great deal of effort and energy, causing the destruction all around me in this quiet field. But they weren't just people. They were Jews. They were my brothers. They were brethren. And they weren't just Jews. They were settlers. They were my neighbors. They were, they were lovers of God and lovers of the land of Israel, Eretz Yisrael. And look what they did in the name of our God, in the name of our Eretz Yisrael. These lovers of God, these lovers of Eretz Yisrael apparently are certain that their God is not the God of the simple people who planted these trees. They believe that that God is exclusively our God, just like they believe that no one else belongs in this land other than Jews. I'm certain that the people who did this, the people who committed this crime, they're angry, they're pained, they're frustrated that others are here together with us on this land. Those pathetically mangled trees that we see here bear witness to that pain, to that frustration, to that anger. The anger of the perpetrators of this crime has been broadcast loud and clear. The trees bore the brunt of that anger. And from the trees, it's been transferred to the simple farmers standing all around me who are now so sad and so confused and so confounded. But they're not merely sad and confused and confounded. These farmers are angry and they're resentful and they're feeling like that rightfully so. The people who did this believe that God is only ours. But I'll tell you, from my perspective, He is not only ours. If He was, He wouldn't be God in my eyes. And this land is not ours at all. It's God's land. God has given it to us, but He's given it to us on condition that we relate with understanding and with compassion to others who are here on this land together with us. Standing here in this field with a handful of other Jewish settlers, only a few minutes' drive from our homes, there's little we can say to our Palestinian neighbors, and even less that we can do to aid them. We're deeply saddened, but that doesn't help. The owners of the field are beside themselves with grief. It's as if, so they say, their own children have been struck down. Their memories go back to the days when these trees were first planted 34 years ago. All the efforts and love invested, all the water drawn, all the olives harvested, all the hope for the future, gone. And we are helpless. We Jews who've come to be with the owners of the field are helpless, and the owners of the field are helpless as well. The branches cannot be reattached. New trees could be planted, but they could never replace the mature ones that have been destroyed. And you know what? What happened could happen again. It could happen again and again and again. The past could repeat itself. The trees are so vulnerable. When darkness falls each night, they are alone, defenseless against the seething hatred that wants to see them and those who planted them gone from here. Is the situation hopeless, I ask myself? Just like we can do nothing to heal the trees, I ask myself if we can do anything to heal the pain and the resentment and the animosity and the distrust exacerbated by these so-called price tag attacks, tag mechir in Hebrew, attacks that have been occurring with such increasing regularity. What worth is dialogue to a people whose honor and livelihood have been trampled underfoot? But then I look at the trees. They've been maimed, but they have not been killed. I'm told by the Arab farmers that although the branches lying lifeless on the ground are gone, the trees will not die. They will heal and regenerate themselves. And careful pruning, so I'm told, can aid in that process. And if there is hope for the trees, then perhaps, with careful pruning, there is hope for us as well.